up, everybody? Long time no see, long time no talk, long time no a lot of things. What's up, everybody? Ooh, long time no camera adjustment. Let's fix that. Whoa! Accidentally turned off the monitor. Let's see how it looks now. Should be correct. Perfect. Awesome. How's everybody doing? It's been a minute. It's been a hot minute. Been busy. You know, some match videos every now and then. Talking about stuff, you know. But, you know, Evo and work had me a little bit tuckered out, so I didn't really want to do a whole lot. So, here we are. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. On my daily stream, but we're taking a lot of Dream Pot. We'll be talking about that. I have a lot of club transfer tickets, as you can see, because I definitely have been going hard on farming for club medals. Got a new banner. That's very, very good. I want to talk about these players. Between your mic and the music. Okay, let's change the music down a little bit. How about now? I should come in pretty clearly. That should be a lot more clear. Let me know if that's a lot better. It's been a minute since I had to fuddle with all of this, honestly. Okay, cool. I gotta send a couple calls tomorrow to some people so see if they'll buy my old crappy car. Anyways, yes. Let's talk a little bit about a bunch of different things, actually. There's just a lot to talk about. What's up, Jorge? Let's talk about first and foremost the current players for the current banner, because I haven't done that in a hot minute. Let's talk about let's discuss some players. Let me make sure that I have a way to set this up cleanly. RST.am, because you guys know that I like to use that as my primary information tool, and he's really cleaned up the website in the last couple weeks. Anyways, so let's start with some players here. Let's go to the latest players. I think the most important players to cover that I did not get to cover are Pierre, Casa Grande, and Leo. Because that happened during Evo, and I feel like I should always be giving, to some extent, a little bit of a review on each of the players. On top of that, we also have the new Nita, the new Akai, and then the Dream Pot characters. Alright, so we're going to be talking about all of these guys. Let's start off. Let's frame it a little bit. Let's start with what we have now. We'll talk about it, and then after that, we will be talking about some other stuff. You know, we'll talk about the upcoming Dream Collection, which is going to be Jito. We'll be talking a little bit about the Challenge Road. But first, let's start with Pierre. I know you guys may have noticed, but immediately after the event, the anniversary event was over, we got this Pierre, which is a red Pierre. Red Pierre with 50k total stats. This is like the new level of what the gacha is apparently going to look like. I feel like the anniversary event ushered in a new wave of gacha. We don't know if this is going to be what it's like for the rest of the game, but these units are very, very, very strong. What's up, 13 Bandar? I'm actually pretty sure that you don't pronounce that 13 Bandar, but what's up? this Pierre is kind of crazy. So as you guys can see, his stats are pretty loaded. He's got 7,300 shot, well 7,380, so basically about 7,400 shot, 6,000 power. Actually a good passer, a decent dribbler. Defensively he's okay. You know, his block is nothing to write home about. But if you look at him here, he's a 10K club shooter and an 8.700, well 8.800 passer with about an 8.400 intercept. Not much of a tackler, not much of a blocker, but you know, pretty decent in several categories. With a very good passive, which is if you play him with Napoleon, which the red Napoleon is also has the exact same passive, but with Pierre. That makes some good teammates. Definitely if you're running a red European team or a red team in general, you might want to play both of these players. Also, he comes with toughness type European players, all stats 15, European players, all stats 5. Usually what would happen is that you would get this passive, but this would say toughness type players, all stats plus 5. It's a little bit harder to build around, unless you use this in a only Europe formation. Those aren't very prevalent yet, but they are easier to build than all Japan. Has an interesting team skill, is a very solid passive, very simple passive though for a straightforward character. Comes with slider cannon shot, which we had discussed for a little while. You know, should upvote it because it's pretty good. Eiffel attack a pretty good skill on him since he's gonna use it. Artistic attack. He doesn't come with any wasted skills. You probably keep all of these. Super reflex block I don't think is a good skill to put on him. I also don't think butterfly tackle is a very good skill to put on him. But you certainly can do it. I do believe that he is better off just with Magnificent Interception B and with Slider Pass C. I think those are probably the best loadout that you can give him. Since he's not really a tackler, just use Magnificent Interception to force people to have to use non-passing skills to try to get around you, or you know, hope that he's the second person in an engagement. As a character, I would make him, I don't know how I would rate him. I don't really like putting them in tier lists because the tier list changes so much. As a gacha character, certainly he is an S tier gacha character. He is very, very, very strong for absolutely no discernible reason other than that's how he woke up that morning and that's how he feels about it. You know, he's just incredibly, incredibly strong. If you do not have a good enough player in red, or really if you're looking for a passer or a ball distributor at attacking midfielder who could also be a forward, then don't look no further, I guess, than Pierre. If you're missing a second striker for red, pretty good. You know, I would put him at like at A++ or S-. You know, S-, or something. I think he's like at the bottom. He would be at like the bottom of S tier. If you get him, he's going into your red team almost for sure, especially if you have Dreamfest Napoleon. Anyways, I made sure to make a post on Facebook real quick. Anyways, yeah, 10K, and obviously if you put him in Napoleon, he becomes an 11K shooter. Worth playing, and he has a 455, 2 blow off, 420 stamina shot. Can't go wrong. I guess his weakness is that he's not a 1000 stamina character, but he's very close, so play him. Now, I would think that of the 3 characters, he is the second best character in the banner. Let's talk about Leo, Child of God's partner. He is a green forward. Now, he's a 49K unit, which maybe not be as impressive as a 50.2K unit, but a 59.7K unit is really not that much weaker. Comes with 7,000 shot, a little weaker than Pierre. Comes with 6,040 power, a little stronger, but really indiscernible. Just you can't really discern really what the difference is there. A little bit of a better passer than Pierre, but he is primarily a forward and not an attacking midfielder. In general, he's also a member of the 10K club. He's not an excellent dribbler, but he is a pretty solid passer. Not really anything to write home about in any defensive category. So he's okay. He's just a green forward now. He does come with this skill type: South American all players all stats 15%, and South American players all stats +7 is strictly better than the passive that Pierre comes with. And he is 10% stronger with Santana, which if you play him with a Dreamfest Santana, then you have an 11k club sub striker, which is very nice. He does come with Brazilian twin shot, which decays both at distance and at an angle. It is a little expensive, not particularly strong, doesn't have any blow-offs. But he does have, you know, he's not like crazy weak in stamina. He's not as, you know, he's a little weaker than Pierre. He's basically just Pierre without attacking midfield position and a little bit weaker defensively. And at a forwards, I guess at a forward position. Comes with a dribble, decent little dribble. I think that people sleep on Brazilian twin shot. It is a shot that requires Santana. You have no other choice than to run it, honestly, because strong shot A, 255, not a very good shot. However, killer pass A is very good on him. It is definitely a skill you want to have, and New Brazil Football A is also another skill that's very good on him that you do want to give him. Brazilian Golden Duo S, I mean, if you want to teach it to him, sure. I don't remember actually which Leo gives it to him. I think it's this one. Yeah, there you go. The crappy Brazilian one. So you can teach him that, but New Brazil Football is a much more flexible one too. It is definitely the one too that you actually want to teach. And Killer Pass, again, as I mentioned earlier, Killer Pass is definitely the pass to teach here. You can teach him the C Brazilian Golden Duo if you do run him specifically with Santana from the versions, from the really weak versions, but you know, that's like a decision you're going to have to make call. I would put this guy as like an A+ character. The problem that he has is that he's dependent on Santana, and some people did not get Dreamfest Santana, so getting this guy if you didn't get Dreamfest Santana is like a slap in your face. The green Santana that you can get that's not Dreamfest is not good enough really to play. And we don't know yet if they're going to bring those Dreamfest characters back without the uniforms. If I was Clab, I would do it, but that's because I'm a salty motherfucker and I would want to get them some way, manner, shape, or form. But I wouldn't like hold my breath for it, basically. So A character, just an A tier character, solid A. If Pierre is in the lower rungs of S, then Leo is somewhere in the A tier, because he is very good. He's still a 49k character, and if you do play him with some form of Santana, he's really strong. And if you can't, then I wouldn't really use him. I guess if that's his weakness, then usually I give those characters at best B. But I feel like he's so strong that there's no reason to make him any weaker than that, right? Anyways, I forgot that I have to. I forgot that I'm supposed to make my new tip thing. So I gotta save this. Anyways, so yeah, you know, Leo is Leo. Not great. S tier, A minus, maybe B plus. Now we go to Casa Grande, Monster of the Last Line. Let's talk about this unit because there's a lot to unpack here. He is a blue defender, which is nice. Blue defenders do have one of the best blockers in the game, but other than that, they're actually kind of low on blockers that aren't true blockers. They have like the event Vulcan and and Robson, and I can't really think of a whole lot of other true blue blockers. Owyron's not very good. You know, I could be not thinking of him, but well, Casa Grande solves that problem. Let's talk about him. 959 stamina, you know, pretty decent for a defender, actually. Defenders tend to be kind of wiggity wackety in stamina. 49,747 total stats, pretty good. Offensively, nothing to write home about. He's okay at dribbling and okay at passing, but defensively, he's got 7,000 block and 7,000 power. Jito's not a true blocker, he's primarily a tackler, Banda. 6,100 tackle with 5,400 speed, not bad at tackling. Kind of lame at intercepting, but you know, that's not his primary job. His primary job is to stop balls from going into the back of the net. That makes him a 10,606 blocker, which is really nice. He is also an 8800 tackler, and you know, he exists at intercept. His intercept's almost as good as his dribble, I guess. You know, nothing really crazy to write home about. But again, 10,000 tackler, pretty great. And now we haven't yet talked about his team skill, which is Warrior's Extreme Awakening, Agility, and Defender. So if you're a defender, you get all stats 15%, which is bonkers. It is so good. And if you're an agility player, you also get 10. So this is basically Warrior Emergence Blue with an extra 5% if you're a defender. But it doesn't matter. If you're any kind of defender, you get 15%. So you either a defender and get this buff, or you're an agility type player and get this buff. You get the best buff of the two. Also, he has an auto block enhance, which is a 30% auto blocking chance. That means that if you shoot a ball towards him, he has a 30% chance of activating a special skill. His special skill is Giant Block S, which has one of the coolest animations in the game. It's 430 stamina block. It's pretty expensive, but it's 455 cap. Comes with high power tackle installed. High power tackle is a kind of a high foul rate tackle, but it's still very good. And it comes with power dribble. You know, again, nothing really to write home about. Nothing really to write home about there. But it's pretty decent. Now, you can teach him high power tackle C and high power block A. If you can find them high power block A, I would teach it to him because you can get this to 320 a lot easier than you can probably max giant block. And you don't have a whole lot of skills to teach him. And I would teach him also high power tackle C because why not? He's a character with low skill support so far, but Giant Block S is almost worth the price of admission alone, and so is this intense blocking ability, which he gets to boost everyone else's abilities for free, an extra 5%. If you are struggling to find a blocker in blue, he is definitely a good candidate for a good blocker in blue. And also, if you have him go up against, let's say, a Hino who tries to do a jumping tornado shot on you in the air, and Casa Grande is the person that goes to intercept, he has a much better chance at stopping Hino because his passive is to prevent high balls from crushing you. And that means that he gets 25% boost to whatever he's doing in the air when it's an air situation. And so that's pretty good. There's not a lot to say about this character other than that. He's just real strong. Anyways, so I would make him, if I was gonna rate this character, I would rate him S easy. Like a good solid S. Not even like a weak S like Pierre. If Pierre is like a low S, maybe high A, Leo's like a low A, maybe high B, and Casa Grande is a solid S. Like, he's not a double S, but he's a solid S. Of all the new characters that have come out, he's a solid S. He was worth trying to pull. So anyway, now let's talk about these new players from this current banner. We've got Nita, Scoring Tenacity, and we've got Akai, New All Japan's Golden Warrior. And I'm going to start with Akai because I feel like he is not the better of the two, even though he's probably the better one out of the box. So let's talk about him. He is a skill green unit. He is a defender only, which is weird because Akai tends to also play defensive midfielder. With 1,043 stamina, which is obnoxiously good. 50,000 total stats, which is obnoxiously good. Nothing to write home about defensively, but he is a solid interceptor with decent block and tackle. Actually, this is almost Dreamfesty, how good this is. 20k defense, well divided amongst all three abilities, is almost Dreamfesty. And his technique is high enough that it makes his intercept pretty strong. He is kind of a loaded gun here. He's not very good at high or low balls, which makes him a little bit weak compared to certain things. Roberto Patiño Aro. Last I checked, there's no Collab Direct right now. We could always check it out. Collab did not look like they were streaming today. Yeah, as you can see, Collab is not streaming today. I do believe they're on summer break. And so since they're on summer break, if not, I would have just switched over to them real quick. Anyways, so even though he's kind of not great at passing or dribbling, he can do both of them sort of okay. His intercept is almost 10,000. He's almost only off by 30. And his block and his tackle are in the low 9,000s. And so I think that this character is actually kind of monstrous. He also comes with a great skill, team skill, which is Japan players plus 10 or skill players plus 7%. Is the first of its kind. Japanese and skill type players emergence. Pretty good. Also, he has the same passive as the World Cup Hyuga, which is attack at the scene of a fire. Special skills improve the lower your stamina, so you can get up to 30% to your skill check multiplier, as it were. He comes with an intercept and a block and a tackle, right angle defense, which is the same as Green Gentile. A lot of people are downvoting it, but it is not really much of a downvote. This is worthy of your black balls, and I'll explain to you why in a second. Even though it's very easy to give him dangerous tackle, you should give him dangerous tackle if you have it. But right angle defense, if you have the black balls for it, may be a better investment, simply because it's cheaper. Shoulder block A, pretty good block. It's maybe not the block I would go with. I might go with shoulder block B because it's easier to get to 250 and it's not that big of a difference. If you're gonna give him an expensive block, I might try to find a way to get him the S1, but the S1's stuck on a character you can't get anymore. And sliding block S is just depressingly bad. So and you'd have to gut the red of Akai to do it. So don't give him that. I think right angle defense is not bad. Shoulder block A is not terrible, but not good, so I can't say anything about it. Aggressive interception, though, is a 444 skill, 410 stamina. It is expensive as far as interceptions go, but it's still a good one. He has plenty of stamina to spend them, and by spending his stamina more, you will get closer to this faster. Samuel, when I am done talking about all this, I will talk about that kind of question. I'm not going to really answer that kind of question right now. It's not the scope of what we're doing right now. So if you can teach him aggressive right angle defense if you want, but I wouldn't, because aggressive right angle defense is crazy expensive. I'd rather go with dangerous tackle, which is only 5 weaker but 70 cheaper. And then I would teach him shoulder block B if you have access to it. I don't think right angle defense A is that bad though. So also, if you can get him strong pass A, that'd be nice. You may have to use a skill card for that. I don't know. All in all, I would think that this Akai is maybe, if I was gonna rate him, I don't know how I would rate him honestly. He's hard for me to think of like what would be a good rating, because I think it's hard to explain this guy. He's just a solid defender. Looked at just through the fact that he's a solid defender, I think he would just be like, he's like an S green defender. But green is not hurting for defenders. There's a lot of good Dreamfest ones. There's a green Bunak. There's obviously Pierre, obviously Misugi. There's the green Misugi, which is not that bad. There is green Gentile. There is green Jito was free. Free green Galvin, also a great green defender. I feel like there's green Soda Dream Collection, who's bonkers, and he's coming in the next Dream Collection again as a uprate. We'll talk about it in a bit. There's so many good green defenders that he's just another in a big pool of pretty solid green defenders. And I think he would be the most versatile one, having more access to different kinds of skills. Access to dangerous tackle is also very good. I feel like I would rate him, I want to say S, but I don't know. For a defender, he's certainly an S, but I don't know how I would rate him overall. I think, yeah, we're going to have to just go with S altogether. Also, his team skill is just great. His passive's okay. You know, I don't think his passive is that great. I don't think attack at the scene of a fire is an insane passive, but it's not bad. I don't think his problem is edginess, frankly. I know that that's a term that Bay likes to use. He's really a 10k interceptor, so he feels like he's a wingback more than anything else. But with access to all these other skills, I kind of want to play him. I think his biggest weakness is that he's not a defensive midfielder. If he was also a defensive midfielder, he would be like S immediately. The fact that he's stuck at defender means that you have to put him kind of on the wing, and I don't think that wing defenders get enough engagement sometimes. And so I'm gonna rank him like a low S, high A, like an A plus, S minus sort of deal. somewhere in between, like at the very edge. But he's certainly not a bad unit. Like if you get him, you should be happy. He's great. But now let's talk about the crazy unit of this banner, which is Nita. And that's crazy, right? I never thought I would say that there is a Nita that's crazy. Cristo de Maggio, Akai is S+ benchwarmer. No, I feel like you want to use him early and rip through his stamina as fast as possible. And then, because that way in the second half, he's super strong because he's running out of stamina. And then you have more full power soccer available. So he's actually not great as a benchwarmer. You want him in there early to spam your skills and shit. So that later on when he has to come in the clutch, he can. That's usually how Attack at the Scene of Fire works. You want to play them the whole game. Anyway, Nita is a 49k forward with 7,000 dribble and 7,100 shot just to start, which is crazy. He can't pass worth a damn. He's in red, okay? That's how you know he's in red because he has a lot of shooting. He's not much of a tackler. He's what does defensive skills or whatever, but he has 6,600 speed and 6,500 power. This character's kind of dumb skis. He's in the 10k club at 2 different categories, which is not very common at all. And forget about Dreamfest characters. This is not common almost at all. He might be the first. I can't say for sure that he's the first gacha character to be 10k in more than one category, but it's certainly not something that happens often. Defensively, his tackling, I guess, is his only interesting spot. He can't pass to save his life. Don't give this guy A80 Falcon Pass. You're wasting your time. Nothing else he's good at. Just a tackler who can dribble and shoot, which is pretty good if you're looking for a forward. That's basically all they need to do. He has a passive like Akai's, which is 10% to Japanese players or 7% to toughness type players, whichever one's higher. But he's got Nationality Link. Now, if you guys know about Nationality Link Japan, Nationality Link Japan is the reason why Red Aoi from the previous banner is so stupid. Now, he only has an A version of it, which means that he only gets 15% stats for being run with Japanese players. And that's crazy because a lot of people were already building Red Shingo teams or just Japan teams with Shingo in them because he gives that kind of stuff. And so this is nuts, right? This is just nuts. The only thing that saves him is the fact that Falcon Shot is so depressingly bad in terms of maximum force. It's not a good shot. Now, if you were to throw a bunch of black balls at it, sure, it caps out at 415. It's still really strong. But as far as the skill goes, it's pretty decent. And it's inexpensive, which people underestimate because he doesn't have a whole lot of stamina. But his pre-installed shot isn't great. His pre-installed volley isn't much better. And Falcon Intercept's not even the skill that you would want on him because he's not a pass cutter. What you really want is you want high-speed dribble on him. If you can find a spare Dreamfest unit, you would want to have high-speed running Falcon Shot on him. That would be great. And you do want to have high-speed tackle. So really you would replace Falcon Intercept with the tackle, then add the dribble and add the high-speed running Falcon Shot. That's probably the best you could do. Now, if you are going to sacrifice the Nita, the Dreamfest Nita, I mean, I don't know. I would just take the high-speed running Falcon Shot, right? It's just the only thing you really have access to that's scary at all. Left leg jumping Falcon volley is, I mean, it's strictly just better. Now, the good thing about the fact that it's better though is that he's good at low ball, so it is a stronger skill for him. And it's very inexpensive, so I don't think it's that bad of a skill. I'm gonna rate it up. But Falcon Shot sucks. Falcon Intercept's no good on him. But let's talk about high speed running Falcon Shot. If you can give him that, he's kind of a monster because he gets up to 10k stats right here. I wouldn't give him A80 Swift Interception. That's a waste. His intercept 6,200. That's a waste. You're being wasteful. You're being an asshole. Don't do it. So if you have this much and you are on a squad that's, let's say, 30% Japanese, and also you got your club bonuses, so you're at a 14k stats. Actually, so let's limit break him because I like lately adding the limit break. So let's limit break the unit. He's limit broken to his max shot. you are in a club and you're running 30% buffs, which is kind of like the standard thing right now. So you're at 16.758.7k, and then you are running him with another 10 Japanese players on the squad. He's a 19k shooter. He's not exactly Aoi, but that's intense. That's real good. And remember that that's more or less what his dribble is at. Obviously, it's not as high because you're not going to limit break it as high, but you might as well run it 18, 18, 9, I mean 16, 16, 18, right? In the terms of limit break. So this Nita would go 16, 16, 18 on dribble, tackle, speed, and then for his shot and power, I would just go 25, 25 and ignore the rest of it. He is an all-in, he's a caps lock gamer, okay? This guy's a caps lock gamer. He just runs there, he's like, ah! And just fucking shoots, doesn't give a fuck. You shoot your stupid high-speed fucking falcon shot, and you just tell someone to suck your 86k shot, and you hope, you wish them well in the future because they're dead. He's good. He's very, very, very good. I think he's S tier. I think the only thing that doesn't make him S plus, he's like S minus, but like a solid S minus. Like he's not, oh, he might be A plus. No, he's definitely just S minus. And the only way he would be better is if he had something better than fucking Falcon Shot S1. I like that his dribble is impossible to find anymore. I do believe high-speed dribble. How does he get a high-speed dribble? It's on a club unit, right? I mean, you could pull it off. If you're going to sacrifice the Dreamfest unit, you might as well use a removal card to take it off. But there is the club version that you can use to teach him that. So you're not in too much trouble. And the good part is that there's a Victorino. There's a Victorino that also teaches it to you. Yeah, so if you use enough club tickets, you'll find it. So I think he's pretty good. I think that his weakness is that it's hard to get his skills, but other than that, he's a great unit with a great passive. He will work great in red Japanese teams or in red teams, or just in regular Japanese teams. If you could find them, be happy. You could play him next to Red Hyuga. You can go like Red Hyuga, and then to the side of him, you could go this Nita, and then behind that, you can go Aoi in the side, in the middle, and then to the side, you have fucking Red Tsubasa, and to the right, it's just like Red Misaki, and you just got all this toxic bullshit in terms of characters, just destroying. Like, Red Japan is so good, and he's like one of the pieces that makes Red Japan even more horrifying. And there's no reason not to run Red Japan if you can. Red Genzo is dumb. Your front five are all stupid. Your back five are pretty strong. They're about to release a Red Jito. Red Japan's so good right now. So anyways, let's stop. This guy's S minus, solid. Let's move on. Covered Akai. So let's talk about the Dream Pot. Now, let's talk real briefly about the Dream Pot actually, because the Dream Pot, I have pulled so many characters from this Dream Pot right now. And so I have a lot of Dream Pot units. And they're good, like, don't get me wrong. I need them of all colors, please. Thank you. And so we've got, we've got Margus, we've got Schneider, and we've got Chester. And I don't know what happened to my call, so I guess I need to pull another one. I threw him into the trash. But as you guys can see, I've been leveling up Hedgehog Dribble here. And I have a S11 high-speed through ball. And my Schneiders, although you guys can see this one, which is S1A1, my fire shot has been leveled up here. This used to be at S1, now it's at S9. And then I've got the Smargus with the S4 high angle header. And I've kind of kept the other one there because I don't know if I'm going to get another Margus, and I do want to have the spare high angle header. I haven't taught him to him because I have Warhead Header A67. I'm working on that. But as you guys can see, we do have plenty of these Dream Pot units, and Dream Pot units are somewhat farmable, so worth trying to do that. So let's talk about them. Let's start with Karl-Heinz Schneider because I feel like he deserves to be talked about first. He is the Apex Striker. He is another blue Schneider in a sea of blue Schneiders. He is a forward. He is free. You can get him from Dream Pot tickets that you could farm. He's a 43k unit. Not exactly the most impressive stats, but he does come with almost close to 5,000 dribble, 6,600 shot, 5500 power. He's very much like a Generation 1 tier unit. He has 9300, 99 shot. Not exactly what I would call the most impressive stats. He's only 7200 in dribble, and he's a little bit mediocre everywhere else. Okay, whatever in tackle, but not really gonna scare anyone into anything. Now he does come with this, which is enhanced special skills shooting, which is nice. Obviously, here it says Neo Fire Shot. People are like, you should teach this guy Neo Fire Shot. You can, and there is merit to this argument if you somehow got a spare. There is like shenanigans that you could do because of his passive. But primarily, I think his Fire Shot is the good part about it is that it's farmable. Kaiser Step is a good skill to have on him, and he can do nothing else with none of these other skills. Obviously, you could teach him Fire Tiger Shot, Fire Tiger Twin, or Fire Drive Twin, both which are basically Neo Fire Shot, but that require friends. Double Fire, you know, you shouldn't teach him Double Fire. Fire Pass, he sucks kind of with every other skill, but he does have a plethora of them because he is Schneider, and there's enough versions of Schneider to make candy with. And now, so we're gonna talk about his actual passive. I feel like that warrants discussing. So let's say you have him in a standard setup, which is 40% buff. So he's a 13k shooter out of the box. Let's say we're not gonna limit break him because let's say you don't want to limit break him. You know, you're not feeling it. But anyway, you take him in and you farm the lot, and you have your fire shots. I got 370. Okay, we're gonna say you got it real up there. We're gonna put it at 350 because you farmed it a lot. And so you're gonna shoot, and you're gonna go times 3.5 times 1.15 because that's your passive. That's a 52k shot without having maxed anything. You know, it's not bad. He's only a scooch weaker than Noble Young Emperor, right? Like, it is what it is. But let's say you limit broke him, and so you get him the limit break because that's actually really strong on multiplier passives. Because the limit break is actually stronger on multiplier passives, and so you went and you had a max fire shot because you are a G, and so you go times 4.5 times 1.15. As you can see, 78,966 shot, pretty strong. I wouldn't say it's the absolute best, but I would say that you are. If you show concern, it is a valid reason to be concerned. You know? It's a valid reason to be concerned. He does get pretty strong. Now, I'd rather rock Noble Young Emperor, but he is coming for a challenge road that he'll be good in. So, that's Karl-Heinz Schneider. I would say that for a free unit, he's like an A+. For a general unit, he's like a B+, A-. But for a free unit, he's actually pretty decent. He's like an A- free unit and like a B+ regular unit. Like, in the grand scheme of things. Talking now about Red Manfred Margus, German Tower. He is a forward, also from the Dream Pot, 43k, 949 stamina. He is a lot edgier on shot than Schneider is, and definitely can't do anything on defense. Not very fast though, not very skilled. He is a kind of a cannon. Now, he is a free unit in the 10k club, which is very attractive. And his ability is Enhanced Special Skills, High Flying, Force plus 15%. So if you did not get a Dream Collection Margus for some reason, you do have this humongous motherfucker. And now, I'm not going to calculate High Angle Header yet because I want to show you guys. High Angle Header is 455, but you can get Warhead Header to 3.4 very easily. And so, if you were to limit break him and do the math, right, and then you were to fire off the 3.4 Warhead Header, which is actually a very possible thing that you might do. He's a 66k head shot. That's actually kind of ludicrously good. It's hard to explain just how. But he's freaking strong. And so now if you do use High Angle Header, you can we're just gonna take out the warhead header multiplier. No. We're gonna take out the 3.7. Yeah, he's also, I forgot about that. So if we multiply that and we multiply the high, so he's actually an 82,780. Woo! Spicy. And that's just warhead header at 3.4, right? If we take out the 3.4, right? If we take out the 3.4 and we actually just take his, if we take this, we add the 1500 bonus. I don't know why that happened, right? And then we multiply that, you know, and then we do our highball calculation. And then we assume you're going to use a high flying skill. Use a base 17,382, and then we multiply that by blazing header and holy mother of God. I feel like I mathed out wrong here. Times 1.4 times 4.55 times 1.25, which is the both, times 1.15. So, oh, okay. Is that even right? Let me do that one more time. Plus limit break. Boom. Times. He is in a club and gets 30% buff. So boom. And now we multiply that by high angle header S whatever. Right? And now he's very good at high balls. And he has enhanced special skills, high flying. That's a nuke. That's a nuke. He is a nuke. He's a portable nuke. Now, if he doesn't get a high ball, he's hosed. But, you know, that's the risk you take running a nuclear bomb, right? You actually run a nuclear bomb on your team. So, even with having warhead header maxed out, he's already scary enough as it is. And so, this is probably one of the best free units that they've ever kind of come out with. He's kind of scary in the way that Jito's scary. And so, Jito's scary, sorry. And so I would rank him actually an S free unit and an A plus regular unit. He's usable if limited, he's hard to use, but if you get him in the right position, set up just the right way, it's almost a guaranteed goal. There's nothing anyone can do to stop it, you know, other than getting very lucky. And you would be in good shape having this character, especially considering that he's free. He is probably the, in my opinion, tied for the best character of this Dream Pot collection. This guy is like second, and then we'll talk about Call. But right now, Franz Chester. Franz Chester, hardcore play. SSR you are. Serpenter, make sure that you also calculate the passive, and also the fact that his passive is stronger when limit broken compared to Faye and Vulcan. Now, except maybe Faye, Vulcan no, but Faye might be a little stronger if his passive is active. Anyway. Holy smokes, I'm tired. Let's talk about Franz Chester, hardcore play. He is a green attacking midfielder, not a dual position, which is a little sad. 43k unit, again, like a lot of these. Nothing much in dribble, but not too terrible. Bad at shooting. 7,000 passer. Not much on tackle block, but okay intercept and okay technique. That means that translates into him having 9,800, basically 9,900 pass, which is almost at the 10k mark. Just in general, very solid, and he does have the ability to enhance his own passing skills by 50% power. That's very good. He comes with high-speed through ball, which is not exactly the greatest pass of all time. A lot of people are underrating it. I think it's actually very good for 210 stamina. It's not as good as Killer Pass, which is good. Magnificent Interception A is a decent skill to teach him. Germanic Combination, if you can give it to him and you need it for your green, with a green team where you're running all 4 of the Germans, then that might be decent. Killer Pass is pretty good. Straight Tackle, probably not worth giving to him. Not much else here worth giving. Loop Shot on him is really bad. I would rip it out if you must. But yeah, he's just a real solid unit, and I want to really talk about the level his pass gets to, because people kind of don't understand. Let's say you're going to limit break him because that's the kind of unit he is, and you need to make sure that he's got his buffs on. And now he's got his buffs. He's a 15k passer, and he's going to fire off his 415 pass, right? because that's what he's got. And so he fires a 450, 66k pass, which is pretty good. But then you remember that he also has a buff to that. He has a 76k pass, which it's not bad. It's really not bad at all. I think that as a passer in green, he's very solid. The problem is that there's so many passes in green already. But if you do want to run a German passer and you don't have you have the green Margus from the World Cup, but you don't have a green Chester to go with him, I think this is a good, solid alternative. If you're running like green Colt somewhere in the back and like green Schneider and green Margus as your forwards, I think this guy's actually very useful for a green team with Germans on it, because it enables Margus with his skills. It enables teaching Germanic combination to Chester. It enables teaching Germanic combination or using Germanic combination on your green World Cup Schneider. I think that he is kind of an interesting unit where it's hard to rate him, so I have to give him an S-. I have to tie him up for the free units with the red Margus, and I put him at A+ in general. I just think he's very solid and that you should play him if you have him and if you need a green passer. And finally, Herman Kautz. Kautz is a 43k unit who is a defensive midfielder whose claim to fame is that he can dribble the ball. He is absolutely trash at all 3 defensive skills. There's nothing to talk about with this unit. He's bad. He's actually the only bad unit. They try to make him balanced and he's actually kind of terrible. He's not good at literally anything. He has a passive that makes his dribbles better, but he's not extraordinarily good at dribbling either. I guess he's 8.5, but this guy is skill fodder for hedgehog dribble, which is, people are downvoting it, but it's not bad. I don't understand why. It's like the only reason you'd want him. I taught this dribble to my blue Kautz, and that was worth it. And there's nothing I can say about this guy. He's a skill monkey that you can pull loop pass off of. Frankly, that's it. That's literally it. I got nothing else to talk about with this unit. Pull off a loop pass once, and either use him to level up loop pass or use him to level up the dribble. It depends on what you want to do. I'm using him for the dribble right now. And that's it. That's basically all the characters that have been released thus far. I think Chester and Margus are roughly tied at S- for free and A+ for regular. Karl Heinz Schneider is an A+ for regular. I mean an A+ for the gacha, and he's maybe like an A- for regular play. He's not too great. He might be a B+. And then Kautz is just like a C unit with a very useful skill. In my opinion, 2 very useful skills. So I wouldn't really rely on Kautz too much. This is kind of one of the unreliable versions of Kautz. It's kind of sad because I think his art is cool and I think his jersey is cool, and I wish he was better than he is as a result. But yeah, that's pretty much it for these units. That's pretty much it for the units that have come out so far. We're gonna analyze news coming for Dream Collection because that's what's happening soon. We have a banner coming, Dream Collection, and Dream Collection is gonna have Jito. Yeah, Kevin, that's basically it. Now, Dream Collection is gonna have a red Jito with Insight Master. His new skill is a sliding dash block. I don't know. I hope it's not sliding block, but he does have that. And in this coming Dream Collection, they're gonna add Akai, the blue Akai from Dream Collection, and the soda, the field cutting razor soda. Good. Also, if you pull from this banner, you're guaranteed all SRs as long as you do 10 pull, and the rate is raised to 5% as per usual. Challenge Road is coming. The new Challenge Roads, EX Road 1, you will need the Dream Pot Germans. EX Road 2, there will be there's 3 new players coming, which are Kisugi, Izawa, and Taki from the shop. You gotta play Jito for Road 3, and you need to score with him most likely, so you need to teach him some kind of a combination with Sano. In Road EX4, there is Nita and Akai. You need them both, which kind of sucks if you didn't pull them. The opponent's goalkeeper is skill attribute, so it's advantageous to point a force attribute Nita. If you have that old shitty red Nita, now maybe a time to bring him out of retirement. And then Rody X5, if you did not get the Dream Pod, Hernandez, and Gentile, I feel bad for you. Now, we have Taki, Kisugi, and Izawa coming, and I feel like part of the reason why they're coming is because the anime is doing pretty well in Japan, and so they decided to bring him back. The special part about them is that he's got I think he's got the wing dribble, where he's like running up the wing. He has a diving header, so he has a diving header, and he has a Shitetsu trio tackle, S versions, each of them. And all three of them seem to have a skill that if you play all three of them together, they get 20% parameters. That makes Taki kind of good. It makes him like a 17 to 18k unit. They make Kisugi a 17 to 18k unit in the offense. And I guess Izawa exists. He'll get a little bit more defensive skills. I'm gonna guess he's gonna be real edgy on tackle because of his tackle. So you know, it's interesting. Izawa comes in the club gacha. Kisugi comes in the online medal exchange, and Taki comes in at the league medal exchange. Furthermore, there's going to be a Tsubasa Cup, cool, so that you all can rage about the biggest whales of all time. And then they're releasing some new passives. Now, it's going to be Kojiro Hyuga, Raiju, it's going to be Red Shoshunko, Dream Collection Chester, Dream Collection Margus, and then the original Genzo, Red Genzo, Blue Espadas, and Green Hernandez. All of them are getting passives. I don't know who's going to get what kind of passive. We can only speculate on what kind of passive Hyuga's going to get. But there's a lot of different kinds of speculations. I hope it'll be interesting, frankly, because I can't wait to see what they give Hyuga. He's one of my favorite players. And he's the only red version of Hyuga I have. And frankly, he's come into clutch one too many times. I can't wait for a better one. There are rumors that maybe the 3 goalkeepers are getting ability links. So if you play with like this guy, he's gonna get like 15 to 20% ability link to make him stronger. Stuff. I've heard a lot of different rumors, and I don't know what they're gonna be. So it's worth looking out for. And that's pretty much it. There's not a whole lot of other things to discuss here. I wasn't really planning for a long stream. I'm already kind of getting really tired because I do have to work tomorrow, and I've been trying to sleep earlier. You know, I didn't do very well today. I was kind of sick. But hopefully I covered sort of everything about the new players. The new Red Jito that I do want to talk about is, I want to talk about him maybe on Friday once he releases, and we'll have a conversation about it later in the night. But other than that, I just hope that you guys enjoyed the stream, enjoyed welcoming back. I know that we didn't have a lot of viewers today because obviously I've been gone for a little bit. That's the price you pay when you don't stream for a while. But hopefully you guys are interested enough to come back and return, and we can play some games and get some casuals and stuff like that, because I think that there's a lot of cool stuff to do in the future. And you know, I'm not gonna do Team Doctor today, but I am announcing it because that's normally what happens. But for today, you know, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover. I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, Jito got the little Majin eyebrow, my dude. He's just like, remember he just hit you with the little Majin eyebrow. Yeah, you know what? We'll do limit breaks maybe tomorrow. Let's do like a limit break session tomorrow where all we do is talk about limit breaks. I do want to show off some stuff that has happened since I've been gone. First off, my Kino is basically almost done. I have my maxed out dribble, I have my maxed out overhead, my S20 shot, which will get bigger with time. Power charge is there. I know that you guys saw that I cracked this dude. I've been working on him little by little. I want to gut Green Urabe so I can take strong tackle and put it here, and sliding tackle and put it here, sliding block, and then give his forcible interception maybe to my Red Galvin. You know, I do have a Red Galvin that I would like to make stronger. He's right over here. He can use a forcible interception. I'm going to start leveling up the power tackle here from all these extra dupes and stuff, because he's strong even without Diaz. I do have this guy, this guy, this guy. You know, I have 3 teams now finally, and I can sort of play all 3 of them. and it's actually very enjoyable. Hopefully stuff will be great. I can't wait to see what they give him. I have to take off Killer Pass so that I can give him the Green Chester Pass, giving him like a level 11 version. That way it could be SSASA. But yeah, you know, a lot of cool stuff has been happening on the horizon. I have a very unique limit break for this guy, which is basically dribble, tackle, speed, pass, intercept technique. That's what he does. He's kind of my primary ball distributor now. Although Red Tsubasa is still a character that exists. But what a good character, you know. I have my Aurora Curtain ready to go. There's just a lot of stuff happening here, you know. All of it I feel is pretty strong, pretty powerful. And so hopefully we'll get to talk a little bit more about all sorts of fun shit tomorrow. But yeah, let's agree to talk about limit breaking soon, so that y'all can have a good old time. This is the team I'm running for the event. It's a little bit out there, but it's been doing the job pretty well. So that's it for me tonight. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep now so that I can wake up early and shower, and then go to work, instead of having to shower at night. Usually I try to ride these waves of sleepiness so that I can have a good night's rest. So see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. I have uploaded some match videos. I joined Saiyan's ESP for a little bit, because that way they wanted me to play in a couple tournaments with them. They were down some members, and they were, I don't know, they asked. I don't think I'll stay for a long time, but they're a cool club full of cool Latino players, so shout outs to them. Also shout outs to my my regular club, which is a hub club. They've supported me streaming, and everybody else, and Bay is also part of the hub club, and it's real cool. So shout outs to Bay, who I've played a couple games with. Maybe I'll link you guys to those, or we'll talk about those games I had with Bay. We'll cover them, and we'll analyze what happened in those games sometimes. Maybe that's another stream that I'll do, analyzing the matches, and maybe analyzing some of the matches I had against Jato-kun, and some of the matches that I've had in this tournament, where if you haven't seen them, both of them end in a funny way, because it always boils down to an Alpha Strike, or like a Full Power Soccer gone wrong. So I think they're entertaining. So anyways, thanks a lot. Go check out the subreddit. Go check out Bay's channel. Go check out Sysbot, Sysbros, whatever he calls himself nowadays, you know, for sanity. Go check out some other YouTubers like Jato-kun. Go check out Chi Games. I think he's streaming right now. I think I actually encroached on his streaming time. Sorry, buddy. And have yourselves a good time. Peace.